Dick, would you lead us in our pledge, please?
Would you please join me in honoring our country with the pledge? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Y'all join me in a word of prayer this morning. Father, we thank you for today, and we thank you for your blessings. We just ask that you give us wisdom today as we make decisions for our county and for the citizens of this county. And Lord, we just thank you for your love and your grace and your mercy. And we mostly thank you, Lord, this morning for the rain that you're sending to this land. We just ask you to be with those that need help and be with our servicemen and our first responders and the people that protect us here, Lord. And we just ask that you keep your hand on us. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
That's fine, because I can look up there.
Cindy, do we have a quorum?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Yes, you do.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like for us to approve the minutes for April 20th and also for April 25th.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dara and second by Commissioner Dick Taylor for approval of minutes. All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 1, the budget presentation. We'll turn this over to you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. It is a privilege and an honor to present to you fiscal year 2024 budget. As always, there's always a big thank you to all of our departments that really strive to only ask for what is absolutely needed. You'll see that within this budget as well. A big thank you to our Finance Committee and Commissioner Zell for joining us this morning, who have listened and have spoken to our department heads and agencies on Travis County's needs. This brings me to our cover page, which is showing on the screen. This is thought out around the major focuses for fiscal year 2024. So as you can see here, the very first one is our Travis County Public Health Building. We have a picture of what it potentially will look like. And this is something that we've been working on the design, and hopefully we can start construction on that soon. As you know, the other major project we have is the Pecos Valley Regional Dispatch and Emergency Services that is currently housed within our administration building and will be moved over to our area, which we call Area D. So that has also been working on, and hopefully we can also finish that construction this year. The other one that we will also be proposing is to do a salary survey for our Travis County employees. And so this is something that we have proposed and put on the budget. We're hoping to accomplish to actually achieve that benchmark on compensation for our employees. The other one is the various maintenance projects. And as you know, in the past, we've had several projects like the courthouse roof that we were just completing, our HVAC units that we already completed in this building and are completing in the courthouse as well. And so for our future, we have several projects remaining for our courthouse and for our detention center. As you know, Travis County does not defer maintenance. We really try to do preventative maintenance. We try to take care of all our fixed assets and maintain all our buildings. So this is what drove our quote or our motto for this year, which is safeguarding Travis County's future by reassessing its needs. So as we look through the vision that we have for our future, for our employees, for our public health, these projects is what really kind of made this quote for us for this year. Moving on, I have a summary cover. This is the second tab. And so here, this kind of gives a quick summary of our general operating funds. As you see here, this is just a quick snapshot of where our revenue is for fiscal year 24, which is $31,632,155.48. And our estimated expenses currently is $31,791,801.62. And in those estimated expenses, we have just a quick overview of some of the major impacts of our revenue. We do have a slight increase in our property taxes. As you recall, last year, There is also Grande windmill farm that was being constructed. Last year, during the valuation, for 2022 numbers, it was fully completed, and so that caused a slight increase in our property taxes, and as well as our interest on investments. We've seen some increases, as you know, interest rates are pretty high, so we've been seeing some of those increases. The unknown effects, however, for our revenue is, of course, House Bill 547. We still don't know what those changes, how those will impact Chaves County on the gross receipts. And so our Finance Committee, we were really conservative, taking all of that into account. And so that is where it brought all of our projected funds with the unknowns that we don't know yet for our revenue estimations. Now, on the expense side, there are some other impacts like PERA, which is the retirement for the county, that is increasing this year. It's part of year 2 of 4 that will be increasing for 1% every year, total of 4% by the end of 4 years. And so the county right now will be proposed to be absorbing the employee and employer side of this increase. Another major impact that we also looked at with the Finance Committee is the property and liability increases. Those continue to rise, and we did receive an email letting us know that it will probably rise again for fiscal year 24 and to anticipate even about a 12% increase. So we took all those into consideration, and as well as a salary survey, not knowing what the variable will be, to ensure that we are capturing all those estimated expenses. As always, a budget is a plan. It's our vision for our departments and for the needs of the county and community. And so this is what that plan is for fiscal year 24. As always, a budget is in beta. It's always changing. And so we try to really hit the mark on what those expenses will be for the year. The next, and also, I'm sorry, right below this is the capital outlay, and these are the capital outlay projects and equipments and vehicles that are in fiscal year 2024's budget. There were several different projects proposed and vehicles or equipment, and the Finance Committee, after we reviewed and spoke to the department heads, this is currently what is being proposed to go on for fiscal year 2024 and will be before you next week for approval. As well as right below, we have our agency allocations. These are all the agencies that will be in our budget for fiscal year 2024 for those amounts listed here. So that is just a quick summary on that I wanted to go over. And the next tab is our recap cash. And so what this is, it lists all of our funds. It lists all of the cash along with the revenues and expenditures broken out a little bit better, and our estimated ending fund cash balance for July. So this lists all of the fire, our grants, federal, our permanent fund, everything is in this, and ultimately this number, the total number, will be before you next week for approval. Currently, right now, that number is $61,513,778. So along with that, I want to quickly dive into our general operating fund. Now, previous recap cash captures all of the funds. This general operating budget is only those general funds that we actually operate with. This does not include any of those restrictive funds. And so, like I mentioned, with our Finance Committee, we looked at all the revenues. You'll see there some of the adjustments that were made for the revenue. And so this is where that number is from our previous snapshot of the $31,632,155. And here it's broken out by the actual funds. So this is where you can see what is actually coming in for our general fund, road fund, correction, etc. And right below that is our expenditures. And so here I would like to just kind of point out, we are taking into consideration a contingency to our salary survey. Like I mentioned below, this is going to be a variable that we just really aren't sure what that exact amount will be, but we are preparing for a possibly 5% impact for the year. And so this will be brought before you by mid-year. and will be put before you for approval once we know what the salary survey results are and once we meet with our finance committee and see how we're going to adjust that personnel. Now moving on, the rest of the tabs are all of them more broken out by department. So we looked at it at a fund level. These tabs are broken out by the department level. And so as you see here is our general government, and it shows all of the departments listed. And you'll hear some of those departments come up. They'll talk a little bit more in detail about what they're proposing, a little bit more emphasis on their capital outlay requests and their personnel requests. But these summaries just give you a more of a breakdown by department. And like I said, this is our general operating. And the other funds are the ones that are like the fire, grants, anything like that that's more restrictive. Those are showing in a separate tab for you. So those are broken out as well by the department, by the fund. And so with that, I don't know if you have any questions so far in the summary. Like I mentioned, we'll have some of our department heads coming up, and they will be going more into depth of their requests and their vision for the plan for fiscal year 2024. But before that, I'd like to thank everybody again. Personally, I would like to thank my staff and Lucia, who I call my sanity. She keeps me in line to make sure that nothing is forgotten. And the rest of my crew, also in my suite, they really, really help us out, and they support us during this time when we're meeting with department heads and are trying to crunch numbers and everything. So I'd just like to give a quick thank you to them as well. If you have any questions, I can open the floor for the department heads to present their budgets.
Anyone have any questions? Okay,
Okay.
Annabelle, go ahead.
So first up, I'd like to kind of pick on Scott. I don't know what he's, Scott Massey. Scott Massey is our facility maintenance director. We will be going a little bit over his budget, but I know he has some more depth and requests for his capital outlay and personnel.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Scott Massey, Chavez County Maintenance Director. We take care of all the county facilities buildings. The 691 that you'll be viewing pretty soon includes the administration center, the sheriff's substation in Hagerman, their storage building on Hobbs, as well as our facility maintenance facility on Hobbs Street, as well as all the grounds at those locations. The 692 is the courthouse facility at 400 North Virginia, as well as all the grounds. 693 is the Chavez County Health Department on Southeast Main, as well as the grounds. 694 is the Chavez County Road Department on Brasher, as well as the substation in Duncan. And 696 is the detention facility on Atkinson, South Atkinson. And then, for the road department, also on Brasher. 699 is the medical facility on Southeast Main, 699. The budget that we presented this year is very typical to the past 2 years. We've been able to cover the ongoing maintenance of those facilities pretty well, and as well as a few unforeseen, such as HVAC units, plumbing issues, etc. We do have a slight increase in some of the supplies that are needed for those buildings regarding paper goods, electronic things like light bulbs, etc., ballast for fixtures. So we've added a little bit to that budget line item. And then meeting with the Finance Committee, there's a few projects that have increased from last year to take care of some needed items that fall below the $10,000 range. So you'll see some increases in the 256 line items. And then the capital outlay items that were chosen, I'd like to thank the Finance Committee for going with those. That's a very wise choice in regards to priority. That'll help us get ahead of some of the deficiencies, especially at the detention center, replacing fire sprinkler heads, some ceilings that are in bad repair due to some fire suppression leaks, and we'll be able to do some fire suppression repairs at that facility as well. The other item, I forgot.
We do have the exterior painting for the courthouse.
Oh, yeah. It's really looking sad. So that'll take care of some of the fading and so forth of the doors, downspouts, parapet cap. There was a couple other items. I thought I was going to be able to see the screen.
Yeah, I don't know. The detention center also, I think you have in there, one of the major projects is the South Echo and Fox ceilings. I know those are two different areas.
Yeah, that's a project I mentioned. It's an extensive project. We'll have to work closely with the detention center for scheduling and coordination, but it's something that desperately needs done. The finance committee, like I said, the projects they chose are perfect choices. The only other one that if there's any room to increase the budget for, would be a project at the road department regarding the oil and lube bay. I provided some pictures for you. That building, when it was designed and built, it was built to get a truck in there, but no thought was given to staff being able to work around that truck. It's very tight, very narrow. The lubricants come in 55-gallon drums, and they can only put basically one in there at a time that they're currently using. And then there's no room to get by, or it's difficult to get a truck in and out with that drum in there. They have to store the extra drums in the main facility. We'd like to add a 12 by 20 to that to make it a little safer and give staff room to work around that vehicle. Again, I certainly appreciate the capital outlay projects that you chose, but that's one other that, for safety reasons, I think would be good to consider if possible. And I stand for any questions.
Calder, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, I just have one question. The Hagerman substation, what are we doing with that? I thought we were,
The Sheriff's Department, I believe, uses it on occasion.
okay,
We've done some improvements to keep critters out from under the building, repairs to skirting and skirting vents and so forth. Their sign was faded where it couldn't be read. We upgraded that.
okay.
We're just kind of monitoring the building at this point, but it is included in that 691 line item for maintenance.
Okay. Yeah, last time I went by it, and I think, Mike, you had said that it's pretty nut and pretty dilapidated, so we are going to go ahead and keep that. Is that correct? Okay. It just needs some love and care.
It does.
And some, you need no you don't. Just go behind. Yeah, it's kind of, last time I passed by, it was looking pretty.
We can ask Starrett's to put in a pay toilet for you guys.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so you do have some improvements. You have it on your budget to,
It's on our radar, yeah.
yeah, to keep up with
Slowly
it. Okay.
tending to it as we can.
Yeah, I would ask that we would, like I said, the last time I drove by, it was looking pretty bad. I think it'd be nice to have it, people know that we are taking care of it and that it is a part of Chavez County. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, if I could say something.
Go ahead, Bill.
As far as the oil storage bay that Mr. Massey brought up, and I should have brought him up to speed on that after we left the meeting the other day, we discussed how talented an individual we have at the road department. His name is Raul Morales. If anyone can build anything out of metal or probably anything else, it's Raul. And we talked about doing that project in-house. We'll have to work with Scott to kind of do a rough design, and then Raul will be able to put up the red iron and the tin and save the county a considerable amount of money by doing that. We couldn't hire anyone that had more ability than him, so we felt that it was probably more appropriate to utilize our own staff for this project. So,
Sounds good. Any questions about that? Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Miller.
And also, if I may add, there was another capital outlay project that is not listed here because these are only county-funded capital outlays. But there is one that is, thanks to our representatives, we will be receiving money for the St. Mary's Complex, the parking lot repaving and striping. So that was something Mr. Massey had also proposed, but again, thanks to our representatives, we did receive some appropriation money for that, and that will be worked on for this fiscal year as well. Okay, if you have no further questions for facility maintenance, I will be picking on Joe West, who is our road department director. He has a few items he would like to also go over.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. My budget's pretty flat this year. It's like a roller coaster. I had to add to a few places and took away from others. The 651 is the, I've got 5 budgets within the road department. First is 651. That's the administration. It's pretty flat. I didn't make any changes. 652 is the shop. I had to make some minor adjustments there. I think I gave them another $10,000 in their tool line. As I'm sure as you're very aware, prices are going up like crazy across the board, no matter what you buy. It's affecting us pretty bad in certain areas. So that was one of the things that I raised in the 222. Going on to 653, there were several changes there and some things to note. The TPF is $1.2 million that we were awarded from the DOT grant for the West Brasher Bridge. We have received that money, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's correct for the road.
We did receive the money for that. That's a $1.75 million project. At the time that we got quotes on it last year, 1.25 came from the state DOT, and the additional 500 came from legislation. So thank everybody involved in that. This year's project that I put in for the road department is East Pine Lodge and North Red Bridge Road. That's about $1 million as well. We met on it Monday. Typically for District 2 in southeastern New Mexico, they're granted about $20 million per district. Apparently something happened in the legislation this year, and that $20 million went down to $10.2 million. That's going to be divided by every public entity in the southeast corner of the state. So it'll be interesting to see how that money goes for this year's application. We do have some other things to fall back on if it doesn't go through. So we won't know that until September, but that's right at about $1 million as well. Let's see here. The LGRF, the 290 line, is about $894,000. That's our chip seal for CAP, co-op, and school bus. It's a little odd this year. I think for the last 4 or 5 years, it's progressively gone up. Last year, we did not receive funding for our school bus. I believe that was because of COVID. There was no school, so they weren't going to give out money for school bus routes. So what they did, and this is the first time I've seen it, they pretty much doubled the school bus funding the following year, which is this year's money. So this year we got more money, about $10,000 more than we typically get for our CAP projects, which is our big fund from NMDOT. So with our applications that I turned in this year for LGRF, I'm guessing we'll probably get about the same. That tentative offer comes at the end of this month. It'd be nice if it came out before these presentations and last week's meeting, but it just doesn't work that way. I went back and looked for the last couple of years, and it's always the end of May before we get the tentative offer from DOT. So those numbers are pending, I guess. The 291 line is that's for our cattle guards, our culverts, stuff like that, our county-funded chip seal. What we do is I try to budget for 10 miles of county-funded chip seal every year. So the roads that are on the road hearings that are close to town, It's my goal to get those chip sealed as soon as possible, so we're not running equipment around back and forth from way out in the county back into town to where they have to spend time traveling. It's a lot more productive with our money well spent with the blades on the ground, blading roads actually. We chip seal a road, we don't have to address it again for up to 7 years. If it's a residential road, probably maybe up to 10 years. So set potholes here and there, you know, minor adjustments that need to be addressed. Part of that process is the reclaimer that the commission purchased 2 years ago.
I think it's coming up on 4.
Really, already? Wow. 4 years ago. That was a spawn from a project that we did on Omaha Road down here that goes past Leprino and past the Ruan Truck Yard. That road was originally dirt. We chip sealed it. The milk hauling company moved in, and that's pretty much, we almost kept a blade there every week. Constant repairs. We buddied up with Quake County. They brought their reclaimer down, reclaimed it for us. We put an additive in the soil, double pin chip sealed it after that, and we haven't been back. We have zero problems with that road. So I believe it passed Commissioner Korn, and Commissioner Cavan came out and watched the process, and they were pretty impressed with the way it worked. So shortly after that, the commission bought us a reclaimer also, and we use it to reclaim some of the roads. We just used it earlier this week to reclaim Urton Road up by north of 19th Street for the county part of that road. It was in pretty bad shape, so it'll be in better shape after we double pin chip seal it, probably next week possibly. So with that, what we've started doing at the road department is we'll pick the bad roads that are bad and reclaim those, and we'll do a double pin chip seal. The county will pay for half the expense for the 3/4 rock and the prime, the emulsion prime, and then I make sure that road is on the LGRF list. So when we get the 3/4 rock down, we come along on the LGRF list and put the 1/2 inch rock on it. So we basically get a brand new road for half the cost. And without the reclaimer, we couldn't do that. So again, thank you for that addition. Leases, 251. If you look back a couple of years, and I think it's column D. Our leases were at $444,000. That was annual. If you scoot over to this year, it's $170,000. The reason the drastic change is we started purchasing our motor graders. Basically, they're about $130,000, $140,000 for the purchase. I think we've gotten 6 of them so far. We have another 2 that I'm budgeting for this coming budget that'll be up the leases will be up December 7th. And then the last of the 10 will be due December of next year, 24. So we'll budget for that one next year. What that's done is with the way the market's gone in the last probably 5 years, we were going from around a $3,000 budget or $3,000 lease per unit to over $4,000. The last budget numbers I got for leases for the motor graders last year were, I believe, at $4,200 per unit. So in the long run, it's saving us a lot of money. Over a 5-year lease, that's typical for anything that we lease. We were spending $2.3 million over the 5 years for our motor graders alone. To date, what we're spending now is $850,000. So do the math. I mean, that's a huge savings. And due to COVID, again, the market for equipment has gone through the roof. Currently, a new motor grader for the public is $500,000, $500,000. On contract, the county can go in and purchase it for around $300,000. The resale values for our motor graders, we just checked these last week or week before, is around $150,000, $200,000. So if we were able to say on a good day, we get the $200,000 for a trade-in, and we buy a new one for $300,000. That piece of equipment that we just bought is only going to cost the county $100,000, and of course that's on best case scenario. But that's $100,000 over 8 years. That's the life expectancies that we plan on doing. Including in that is, I think on the next line, is also the extended warranties that we have to purchase. It's kind of a drawback, and it's more hoops that we have to jump through, but it's still a huge savings to the county. I mean, just monstrously over the years. I don't think I had anything in the Vector. It stayed pretty flat. Also on the 291, sorry, Annabelle, let me go back. Oh, I went through the 291, I already did it. Vector stayed flat. Our 437 line, which is our waste management, it did no changes there. I guess the only big thing left is our capital outlay stuff. The Finance Committee was gracious enough to grant a lot of things. In the world we live in today, the last few weeks has been crazy as far as trying to get equipment and see if it's going to be available by the time the Finance Committee comes. The week prior to that, 2 weeks ago as of today, we had 4 pieces of equipment that were available. In that week's time, from 3 weeks ago to 2 weeks ago to last week, I'm sorry, all those pieces of equipment were gone. They were bought or put under contract for somebody else, so on and so forth. So we started scrambling, trying to see what was available, and found some other items that came up. And as of yesterday, one of the things that the Finance Committee said we could get wasn't available. And I guess it was one of the ones that was put under contract by the public. That sale fell through, so the dealer called me yesterday and said, hey, that piece of equipment is available. So just this morning, we signed Bill signed the quote, which will hold the unit for us, and then we should be able to pick it up next week. So as of right now, I believe the vehicles that we were awarded from the commission or from the Finance Committee, thank y'all, we'll be picking up next week, and we're trying to make one trip. I believe we're going to take somebody for IT for their vehicle. So it'll be like 6 or 7 of us all riding up there together, or they will be. I won't be going. So thank you guys for that. The only things left will be 2 compactors. One to replace one that's in pretty dire condition. As you guys are very aware of what our trash situation is in the county. I think that's a pretty big item that we need to replace. The differences in those numbers they've gone up $5,000 each since I think January or March of this year. I had it written down, but they've gone up considerably. So those are on for next year's budget, as well as the 2 motor graders. And these 2 that we're going to try to purchase and that I budgeted for in December, they're a little bit more than the standard ones that we've been.
Oh, sorry, no.
Than the ones we've been purchasing, because they're the upgraded model. But they're the only 2 that we have that are like that. So with that, I don't think I have anything else.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I just want to point out from what Mr. West was talking about on the vehicles or the equipment that will be before you as a budget adjustment for this fiscal year. But he was mentioning about some of those vehicles, and you probably know personally as well, hearing about how there's not any vehicles or any equipment really on the lot, or if they are ordered, it takes so long. And I know last year the commission had approved a truck for Mr. West's sign truck. And we ordered it in July, and it's still not there. Hopefully by the end of this month, they promised it would be here. But, unfortunately, that's the way that right now the supply is you have to order and you have to wait about a year to receive it. And so when we were talking with the Finance Committee and Mr. West about items that he currently was saying there are on the lot, we looked at possibly some of that carryover that we were going to put in as reserves for next year, and if we were able to purchase that now for this capital outlay that's on the lot, we don't have to wait a year, then we went ahead and proceeded on that. So that's what Mr. West was talking about, and as you'll hear from others, right now there's also a vehicle for the assessors that we ordered in July of last year, and it will not be here until August of this year. So this will have to be put on again for fiscal year 2024. So unfortunately, that's the scenario on some of these vehicles or equipment that the departments are requesting.
That's correct. On some of our quotes that we got on our bigger equipment, bigger trucks, it stated on there, highlighted, 2 things were highlighted. Allow 365 days to be built. That's not for delivery, that's for the truck to be built. And the other thing that was highlighted was allow for price escalation. Those prices are changing every month, so I can't imagine what they'd be 12 months from now. I mean, maybe better, you never know. But from what we've seen the last couple of years, it hasn't gotten better.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, I'd like to add to what Annabelle said. Chaves County's got a pretty good environment. The commission has taught us over a period of decades to not use the use it or lose it attitude. Every county department generally turns money back every year, and that's why we have this excess at the end of the year. We've got several $1 million in excess. And so when a department comes forward and says we need a new 10-yard dump truck, and the cost is very expensive, that's when they say, well, we expect there's going to be $4 million coming back at the end of the year because the departments have been frugal, as you've taught us to be, only to spend what's in our budgets, not to use it or lose it attitude kind of thing. So that money comes back, and at that point, the Finance Committee will evaluate the most needed things that are on our capital outlay and fund those projects. And that's exactly what happened with this 10-yard dump truck. We didn't think we were going to get it because it was spoken for by someone else. I think you also have a tractor for a belly dump.
A day cab, yes, sir?
Yeah, that was able to be purchased right away, and some other items. Other things that we cannot purchase before the end of the close of the year, of course, we have to move those ahead to next year's capital outlay if the need is great enough. And want to thank all the county departments for doing a good job of protecting the taxpayers' money. It's our money too, so thanks.
That it?
Thank you. Anyone have any questions for Joe?
Mr. Chairman, Annabelle, would you go back to his budget? Under there, I noticed there was $20,000 for landfill fees.
Yes, ma'am. It depends on where the trash comes from is what we get charged for.
Okay,
The majority of it, what comes from the compactors and the sites comes out of 437. If it's roadway trash that gets picked up it's charged correctly, let me just put it that way, on that end, not on our end, that's where that'll come out from. Typically, they don't charge us for roadway, but if they do, that's where
Okay.
Those fees will come from.
okay. I was just kind of curious how we were doing with that relationship.
Yes, well, the relationship between myself, and Abraham at the city, the director over
Yeah.
the city, is excellent.
Okay.
They keep in close contact with what's going on with us, and vice versa, so.
Good, good. I will say on your cattle guards, I was visiting, I had to make a trip up north. Let me tell you what, our cattle guards are much better than theirs. I hit
Thank you.
one and it was, I was like, "Well, we don't do that in Chaves County." So thank you very much for the
Yes,
nice,
ma'am.
easy cattle guards. I was quite surprised. Their cattle guards were a little rough, so, and our roads, I tell you, you guys do an excellent job. And too, thank you for the trash pickup. You guys are doing marvelous out at Midway, so I appreciate the work that you do and your department does. Thank you.
I'll pass that along.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Joe. Next, I'd like to ask Mr. Porter. Justin Porter is our detention center administrator, and he will also be speaking a little bit about his budget as well as capital outlay.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us about our budgets this morning, and also I would like to thank the departments that help out the detention center, the roads department, maintenance, and obviously finance and HR. All participate in the running of the detention center, so I appreciate all of them and their help and their efforts. So, I'll be discussing budgets 641, 642, 645, and 650 with you guys this morning, and then covering some outlay. To highlight some of the items, in 641 in our admin, you'll see that there's some increase up in our pay. We've reassigned or redefined a couple of positions. We have some security staff that we're filling some positions that we feel that we can facilitate more appropriately with administrative staff, clerical data entry work, and that allows the security people to go back and perform more of the security function. So you'll see that increase there, but those positions came from another budget, so it kind of slides over from there. In 641, we'll see that a lot of our increases have to do with the supplies or services that we're we're needing, and so some of our increases will just be because of the cost of some of those supplies, and some of those things you'll see as we increase them for office supplies. We're replacing some computers in our admin section, and then you'll see an increase too where we apply for our reaccreditation. So you'll see some amounts there that you'll only see every so many years, and so again, those were some of those costs will come in. Also, we're back to revisiting and adding some of our notaries, so you'll see an increase in the budget there to be able to get the supplies and notaries and training and that for our notaries in 641. In our 642, you're going to see some increases there in line items 231. You're going to see that we increased about $17,000, and that's because we're at that time where we need to replace about 20 of the radios for the officers so that they're functioning more appropriately. And then there's a handheld tracking and data system that we want to implement that will cost about $10,000, which will give us real-time tracking of what the officers are doing and along the services that they're providing to the detainees. We have an increase of some building supplies in 257 where there's some maintenance issues that we're going to try and address with the maintenance team and stuff. So we've asked for about $6,000 to be added there so that we can address some of the things that we're seeing and some upgrades in some of the services that the building helps offer. In 645, which is our juvenile budget, by the way, just to highlight that. You're going to see that we have some increases in transport costs. We're starting to see now, not only are we doing more transports, but we're seeing more frequently that we're having to go further as far as to San Juan to take the juveniles, and then obviously we have to pick them up and bring them back. So there's an increase in some of the transport costs there and fuel costs. We did have a decrease in that budget in 230. It says that for supplies for the juvenile services, told them I felt comfortable with the supplies that we have available from the other budgets and the adult budget, that it was not necessary to line $2,000 out for supplies. I mean, the restraints, the vehicles, and the materials that we need are already available in the other budgets, so we went ahead and dropped those items. You'll see in 645, 268 that our juvenile housing budget, we felt comfortable leaving that at $550,000 because we're experiencing an average daily population of juveniles of about 10. So we're paying various costs from about $200 a day to $285 a day plus medical services out of that line item. This year, to give you an idea, we've seen as few as 4 and as many as 14 juveniles in custody at any one time. So we felt comfortable right now, and with projections that we're going to come under budget on that, so we felt comfortable leaving it there again. And talking to some of those facilities, we don't see any substantial increases in the housing costs at this point, so we were comfortable leaving that at $550. In our 650, which is more of our operational, you'll see one of the bigger increases comes from our rentals, and that was just before that rental for our copier services and things were being paid out of a different department, and so they've shifted them over to us so it reflects more accurately what we're doing in the services that we're using. You'll see some increases there in 260 across all those budgets, and part of that is it's our portion of the annual audit, and so each one of our budgets will have a hit, and so the 260 identifies those professional services as our portion that we pay for that audit that happens from the state and with the county. And then you'll see in 268 the housing of prisoners, that we want to increase that. And housing of prisoners is when we have to house prisoners at other facilities. So if we have somebody that is needing inpatient medical care that's transported to the Department of Corrections, we're required to pay them a housing fee, just like if they were housing one of our detainees in Eddy County, for example. And so we've seen some increase in those costs and services, and sometimes when we do that, we have to pay for security services when they're over there. So we've seen that increase, so we wanted to ask for an increase in that line item as well. Before I get into capital outlay, I think it'd be a good time to see if you guys have any questions for me at this time that I could clarify or cover for you.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Porter, would you like to also point out feeding of prisoners of the increase that they had submitted right before on the CPI or inflation rate that they're giving us?
Thank you. I skipped a word out of my notes. Apologize. In 650, you'll see an increase of the feeding of prisoners. Our current contractor has asked for an 8.8% increase for the feeding of prisoners. So what we did is we took that increase, plugged in some numbers, and calculated what it would be. The feeding of prisoners is a sliding scale, so if I have 250, it's a certain amount per tray. If I have 200, it's a certain amount per tray. So what we did is right now our population has spiked from last year up about 40 to 45 prisoners a day. 100 days and nights just started, so I expect that number to climb for the next few months. And so with that, we calculated roughly a number that we project will balance out throughout the year, and projected that that would be an increase to request it to now be $686,000 to feed the prisoners over the year.
So we did add that as an adjustment to reflect that change. And also, I just want to quickly point out for our medical care of prisoners, that is in a different fund, but we did budget for the next year's amount as well as any off-site services that our inmates have. So that right now, that current number is sitting at 2.1. It's not reflected in the 650 fund, it's actually reflected in our indigent health care fund, but that amount is part of the operational for the detention center. So I just wanted to point that quickly, and also just say that our staff medical team out there, the contractor that we have, which is currently WellPath, they've been doing an outstanding job at providing the medical services and working well with us as well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Perry.
Did you say that was $6,000 a day to feed them?
No, sir. The whole budget will come out to $686,000.
Oh, okay.
So, sorry if I misspoke, sir.
Anyone else have any questions? Comments?
One is Jason Jackson. Right.
Commissioner Ezell?
I'm here, but I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, shoot, I was like, I can't understand. Okay, if we can, Mr. Chair, I'll move on to our capital outlay. That's a pretty short list right now. First, I want to give some credit to the Finance Committee. We asked for some upgrades for some security items, and the Finance Committee went ahead and approved. One of the things that we'll be bringing in here shortly will be a body scanner, which will allow us to give a more thorough search and review of the detainees and some of the staff members when they come into the facility to help control some contraband issues that we may be seeing and some spike in some of those. So I appreciate that assistance in helping making our facility safer. And then left, what they approved for our next budget is our trash compactor. Our road barn and maintenance team have done everything they can to try and keep it together, but they came back and said we really need some help. So I appreciate you guys approving the trash compactor for our capital outlay for next year. And with that, I'll stand for any questions, Mr. Chair.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Porter, can you tell them a little bit about the body scanner, what the capabilities of that are going to be, and how you're going to route staff as well as detainees through that?
Yes, sir. What a body scanner is, it's going to be very similar to body scanner you see at TSA when you go through an airport. What it will do is an individual will go in, stand in this machine, the machine will scan, and it will reflect different materials or odd things that will reflect on the body. So if you had your car keys in your pocket, just like TSA, you would see a shape of car keys or things of that nature. It will also go as far as if we have materials, for example, if it's not metal, if it's wood, it shows us different density and different patterns so that it will key on us to say we need to look for certain things in certain areas. The vision in that is that we wanted to be able to route the detainees and the staff when they come into the building through this to ensure that we're being as safe as we can in the building on every front. We're not going to say that everything that is bad is due to the detainee's fault, that we want to make sure we're due diligent to make sure that the people are there to do the right things and the good things, are doing the right things and the good things while they're there. So with that, we'll be staffed with an officer that will be there to run that machine very much like you would see at the airport, and then they will identify any risk concerns, and then that can be escalated to what we need to do to respond to whatever we're observing. Sometimes it can be very simple as somebody left change in their pocket all the way to, we've, much like every facility you experience, detainees are trying to smuggle in drugs or lighting sources and things of that later. So we're hoping that if we can catch more of that and deter more of that, that we can help with some of the altercations or disgruntled behaviors that we experience when people are bringing in drugs and taking them or misusing them while in custody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. The next one I would like to call up is our sheriff, Mike Harrington. He will also be presenting an overview of his budget requests as well as a capital outlay.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. First thing I want to say is, just like Annabelle said, thank God we have a staff that takes care of us, because look at the, see how they gave me this, I don't have to use those glasses. So Janet, I appreciate you. Also want to thank Janet for all the hard work that she's done on this budget, preparing it and getting it ready. I want to thank my undersheriff, Charles Eastlis, and my lieutenants for also helping me with this. We ran a flat budget. A few small minor increases were due to the cost of services increasing. As you've heard today, everybody has taken advantage of COVID, and the prices have skyrocketed on everything from services to parts to whatever. So we have to ask for certain things. We asked for a fuel increase in 751, and that is just due to the increasing cost of fuel and a new expected fleet of trucks added to the budget. So at the Sheriff's Office, we have 4 line items that we deal with. 751 is admin. 752 is the Patrol and Investigations Division. 758 is court security. 753 is our LEPF. And talking about that, we have, like I said, really run a flat budget on the area of 751. We didn't have any major increases in that area. In patrol, like I said, fuel was our main deal, and that's 752. And then as we get into the court security division, one of the things that we're having right now is, because we are shorthanded on people, the overtime budget in court is higher because of transports and other things that we're having to do, using patrol and other divisions to do that. But overall, it's a flat budget for that as well. And under the Law Enforcement Protection Fund, we, as well as every other agency under LEPF, went up substantially in the amount of money that we receive per officer for training and other things. Under the LEPF, which is the Law Enforcement Protection Fund, we now receive $147,500, as you're aware, up from $39,800. And that's where we pay for our canines, or not our canines, our canine deputies. They get a certain amount every month extra for caring for the dogs 24 hours a day, basically. And so that comes out of that. Also, for all of our training, that's where we try to do a lot of that. And the ammunition. Ammunition right now, I don't know if you, I know all of you, so I know you know. But most of the public don't know that ammunition has just skyrocketed. And there's certain ammunition that you cannot find right now, because as soon as it comes in, it is just taken off the shelf as quick as it gets there. So we do pay for our ammunition out of the LEPF, and we're thankful for that. Now we're able to do more firearms training with tactical situations rather than just the yearly qualification. So we're thankful for all that. We also want to thank the commissioners, the finance commissioners that we went in front of, Commissioner Taylor, Commissioner Ezell, and also for finance and for Bill for sitting through that. That is always a tough time for everyone involved because my wish list is big because I know what I'm having to deal with, but I also know the budget is little. So we have to deal with that. So I thank you for what I did get, or what is about to go in front of you, which is the 2 trucks that we are needing for patrol. They're $45,000 under the state contract right now. The equipment for that to get it upfitted is $13,500, and the wrap is around $1,500 in that area. So we know that by the time we get our trucks, it's probably going to be even more than that, so it's going to overflow into our regular budget. But we do thank you for that, and also for the firearms training system. That is something that we need desperately. And the reason for that, not because we need more, well, yes, everybody does. We need more time on the range, but we also need more shoot, no shoot scenarios. We need to go through training because everything in today's world has changed because of drugs. Fentanyl, mental health issues caused by drugs, and other things are something that we're dealing with more and more every day, and this system that we're going to get teaches us how to deal specifically with mental health issues as well as suicidal issues and issues where, you know, people are trying to hurt other people. So we are very thankful for that, and I just cannot wait until dispatch moves down to Area D, because that room is going to become my training room, and we've got a lot of plans for that. So pretty much that's where we're at. Did I go to Captain?
Yeah, and Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, and as Mike was talking about for the request, he did originally request for 5 Chevy trucks, and that's why it's showing the number 5. But they are receiving a junior bill, and that will be in the amount of $100,000 for vehicles. And so when we met with the Finance Committee, they did say they wanted to make sure he had 3 full vehicles. So the junior bill wasn't going to be enough to cover at least even those 3. So it'll be the $100,000 from that junior bill money, and then the $80,000 that will be able to complete 3 vehicles, 3 new vehicles for fiscal year 2024.
Yes.
Anyone have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of questions. Under your
Okay, we're not from.
firearm,
Can I get a read the store? Okay, that's what I'll be. Thank
under
you.
your
Sorry about that, y'all.
firearm
Is there
training
another-
system, does that include crisis intervention training at all?
One moment. All right, go ahead. Say that again.
Under the firearm training, does that have any of the crisis intervention training? And is
Yes.
this for all officers?
Yes, it is. It not only will be utilized for my department, but other agencies will be invited to use that.
Okay.
And we will have classes that we'll put on. I have firearms instructors that are master firearms instructors that can, we can actually do training for other agencies through that.
Okay, because we've been talking about this with some of the behavioral health that we're doing.
Yes.
One of
So-
the issues with all of the law enforcement agencies is the crisis intervention training. You know, who offers it for free? How do we get it here and have everybody involved with it? We can't coordinate dates and stuff like that. So under this firearm training system, you would be able to offer that?
Yes, also we do utilize PSPG out of Albuquerque. They are a group there that teaches classes specifically on how to deal with mentally ill or other crisis intervention type situations. And when they come down, they also teach my instructors on how to teach that.
Okay.
So that is something that right now is at the top of our list because the increase in mental health issues is skyrocketed. And the other issue is we have plenty of facilities that offer professional help. They just don't come out to us. You have to go to them. So,
Well, and that's why we are working
Yeah. yes. So
We're
yes, we
working
will
through
be teaching a lot of that. And like I said, I do have instructors in that area now that that's specifically what they do.
Okay. Also, too, at one point, we had discussed an officer for the admin building. Is that,
Yes.
are you?
No, that's still there. Yeah, we already
is
have
still
that.
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, thanks to the state police getting a pay raise, some of my deputies are going to the state police, and some other incidents where they've decided to go to other agencies have left us back to being four, well, I think we're actually seven positions down, I believe is what we're at right now. I have 5 that are getting ready to go to the academy, and I have 3 that are going to graduate from the academy at the end of this month. I have 5 going to the academy in August, and I am in the process right now of hiring. Unfortunately, we are only receiving uncertified applications. And the reason for that is because every department around us is $28 an hour, $29 an hour. And that's why I'm so glad to see the salary analysis that is being done, because the state police is going to start one of my people out. I think it's $33 or $38 an hour, and I just can't compete with that.
And I attended the New Mexico County's board meeting, and that law enforcement and detention center were the 2 major
Yes.
issues, and this was discussed.
Yes.
Every county
Yes,
is
it
going
sure
through
is.
this because of that.
Yes, exactly. So,
So, yeah.
but I will say, I do have a great staff of deputies that are staying, that are really good at this job, and they're not in this for the money as much as they are what they swore to do, serve and protect people. So I'm thankful that we do have that. And one of the reasons I do believe that also is because we are hiring local people. And when this is your home, you do it because you care.
True. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Anyone else? Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much for your time, and I do appreciate all of you. And I appreciate this.
Thank you, Mike. That will be the end of me picking on department heads, and it's not that I like to pick on them, but they are what we call the big 4 of the county, because of course they're a part of our roads, our safety, and our maintenance, and so they are the bulk of our operating, just to make sure we provide those services for our citizens. Going forward, I will open up the mic to any other department heads or elected officials that would like to come up, but before I do, there is something that I would like to go over and that I have proposed to the Finance Committee, and that is for moving offices of the court services, which is our court compliance officers. There have been several issues that we've been encountering. I don't know if you're very familiar of where currently our court compliance department is, but they are in what was called the law library of the courthouse on Virginia. And so we have 4 officers in there, and we have another officer that is across the hall. And right now, with the space that they have, we've encountered several issues. There's no privacy, there's no confidentiality. If there is a client that is probably wanting to seek services, I don't think they don't feel comfortable, they don't have the freedom to really speak that out loud, because it's just so enclosed in there where another officer or another client could hear. There's also no conferences, there's not enough room for screening. as well right now, storage or functionality. So for future plans, I did talk to our county manager, Bill, and to our facility maintenance director, Scott Massey, and we'd like to propose to move the offices of the court compliance over to what is the top level of what used to be the juvenile detention center. Up there are some classrooms as well as what they would call the gym. We would like to see about maybe moving the officers there and building some walls for them to have their actual offices there. It'll make more of a function for them. It'll be a little bit more privacy. And so, you know, we talked about possibly moving that. We kind of came up with some plans, and like I mentioned, I proposed this to the finance committee, show them what we envision for that. And so that is currently on the capital outlay as well. So I just wanted to quickly mention that.
Thank you. Bill, did you have something?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, when the courthouse addition was put on, they wisely left us a cutout for a future doorway. So this new location would be directly behind the entry where you go into the courthouse through the magnetron, and the security guards are there. Just to the south of that, there's actually a place in the wall that is not full of concrete for a future door to be cut in there. So that allows us very easy access. That area is no longer being used for any purpose, and as you know, any building or thing that you just leave alone is going to deteriorate very quickly, whereas if you stay in it for some odd reason, it actually stays better, maybe because we keep it on our radar. But its ability to lay it out is very easy. We did pull up the original plans and overlaid the downstairs and the upstairs to make sure that we did not affect anything going on in the magistrate court downstairs. And we believe that this is a very inexpensive way to create a large area that they can actually grow into. Also frees up the area in the center of the courthouse for other possibilities, maybe even some sort of court diversion stuff. We're still in talks about that, but that is a function we need at our courthouse, and that might free up the space so we could have that, and certainly would enhance your operations in court services. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
I stand for any questions on that.
Anyone have any questions? Okay.
Okay, so at this point, if there's any other department head or elected official that would like to come up to speak briefly on their budget, the floor is open. And if there's not any department heads at this point, also any agencies that would like to come up as well to direct their proposal to the commission.
Board, do you want to come up and, it doesn't matter to me who starts first, but y'all are right in front of me. So.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. We appreciate your consideration again for Border Soil and Water Conservation District. We have our elected supervisor, Rosemary Thomas, and myself, Dina Kidman. I'm the district manager. Let me just start out with just a very brief recap of what our objective is with the financial consideration. Of course, we are and I've appreciated everyone, all of the agencies and the commissioners with just stewarding everything that we have. That's how we operate in our conservation district as well. Quite frugal and want to steward everything. So our objective, like I said, would be weed management. That's always been one of our goals, but the serious nature of that has been increased with the introduction. It's been several decades ago, but I'll just call it a weed. It's a very noxious weed, African rue, and anything that consumes this weed, it's very lethal. Even a few bites can kill a cow. So that's why it's increased our focus. And what we would like to do with this funding request is to provide herbicide for landowners who have African Roo on their ranch, and there is quite a bit in Chaves County, and it's encroaching into Roosevelt. The bulk of our district is in Chaves County. A small portion of it is in Roosevelt, just for logistics there. So, like I said, the bulk of that would go to herbicide that would be able to spray the weed, because physical removal of the weed just stimulates growth. So it needs to be sprayed 2 times a year when it's in bloom, in the spring and in the fall, up to 5 to 7 years to really try to eliminate it. And then it needs to be really heavily controlled and monitored thereafter. So some of the funding may go to just paying for maybe a side-by-side rental for 1 month, twice a year during that spraying time, just to monitor how it's going. And then, well, and also in the Finance Committee, we had talked about the musk thistle and loco. So there would be other weeds problematic to this area that could be addressed as well. But as I said, the bulk would go to African Roo. And at the budget, at the Finance Committee, we had passed out the troublesome weeds of the West to most everyone, but I know there are 3 of you that if you'd like one, I have that, and that's turn to the page 76 where the African Roo is. So I'll pass those out in just a moment. Do you have anything? Supervisor?
The amount that we had asked for was $4,000, and in the scheme of things, that's a little tiny drop in the bucket, but it's a big thing for being able to get effective herbicide to local landowners, and to try to not only treat this, eliminate it, but also to prevent other potential economic loss. And it's a big deal. We appreciate your time, and thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Anyone have any questions?
I do.
Commissioner Perry.
Are these predominantly funds going on private land, or are you doing public land stuff too? Or?
If I understand right, one of the landowners or land managers in Chaves County had gotten some herbicide from the BLM, but he said that's no longer been offered. So some of it would go on to BLM if the BLM would not provide the herbicide. If they discontinued that, then we would help those land managers, but the bulk would be on private land.
That's great. Is the state land office helping at all?
We could approach them.
Well, I used to work for them. I know they have programs that would probably help.
Well, that would be wonderful. Yes, we will. We've known about the African Roo for a while, didn't understand the significance of it and how widespread it was going to get and different things. So we're really trying to push hard and fast now that we've more fully understood the position. So yes, we will be.
Well, I just mentioned it because it could be a compounding
Exactly.
factor that could assist. We can exchange numbers. I'll help you with that
That would be
one.
wonderful. Yes, thank you. Any help is welcome.
Anyone else? Thank you guys for your hard work and your passion about this. I know you're very passionate about it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Andrea Moore. I'm with the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, and we are requesting continued funding for the Roswell Chamber of Commerce. Your funds in the past and currently do help with the with tourism, relocation of new residents, and the overall promotion of the community. That's not just Roswell, that is the county as a whole, Lake Arthur, Dexter, Hagerman as well. And I stand for any questions.
Anyone have any questions? Andrew, I know you work very hard and are passionate about what you do too, and thank you for what you do.
Absolutely. I love our community. I love Chaves County and Roswell. And so I have found that it is a very good fit for me to be where I'm at right now, to help continue to promote and grow our community. Because I'm now one of those parents that has children in college, and I want them to be able to come back, and I want them to have the desire to come back and bring their families and grow this area.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I do
Yes.
have a question. You know, Andrew, because of COVID, boy, we lost some businesses. I've noticed the Redcoats are starting to get out
Yes.
and do some more of their ribbon cuttings and stuff like that. Are you seeing an increase?
We are.
Especially, I noticed smaller businesses are coming out.
We
That's
are.
pretty good.
And in fact, this month and next month, we have 4 ribbon cuttings or grand openings of some kind already on the books. We just recently did Pecos Valley Productions in April, and then we've had a bunch of new doctors' offices associated with both hospitals that are opening up. So that is very promising to see that we are having health care come in and that our hospitals are partnering with these doctors so that they can open up. This Saturday, we've got Allison's Home Supply, formerly George's Carpet. It's in the same area where George's Carpet was. They're having their grand opening. The Yarn Shop that is located catty corner from Southwest Printers on Pennsylvania has recently opened, and they're getting ready to do a business after hours. So we are definitely seeing a lot of businesses, and like you said, a lot of these smaller businesses. And in fact, I was just in Chrissy's Bakery last week. They're right next door to Domino's Pizza on Main Street and College. They're getting ready to move to Dexter because that's actually where they live, and they're rehabbing an older facility in Dexter right across from the high school, and they're going to be doing a grand opening in August with
good.
us.
That's good to know.
And they were shocked that we would be willing to travel to Dexter, and I kind of giggled and said,
Shoot,
well, of
yeah.
course, you're part of Chaves County. So
Exactly.
if you're a business anywhere within the borders of Chaves County, we're willing to go anywhere to help promote those businesses.
That's good, and that's good. I like having a bakery close to me. I can go pick up my tacos and get my bakery and
Oh,
go
they're
home.
fantastic. They've
I
become,
didn't even know they were here.
they've become good friends of mine. I kind of found out through dance with my kids, and it's the sister-in-law of one of the parents. So they're next door to my nail place, and I go in and get a coconut tea or a little bagel or something. And I was sad that they're leaving Roswell,
That's okay,
but
I'll
I'm
take
happy for Dexter because Dexter definitely needs that kind of stuff as well.
Yes. Well, good. Thank you very much for
Yes.
letting us know, and thank you for taking care of businesses throughout Chaves County. I
I'm
appreciate
doing my
it.
very best. If I know about it, we're happy to help. If we don't know about it, there's not so much I can do.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Andrew. Thank you
Thank
for
you
all you
very
do.
much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Chairman and County Commissioners. I am so excited to be here today. I'm honored, and it's a real pleasure to be here. I don't do a lot of presentations, so this is my first one for Chaves County. I am Barbara Gomez. I am the Director of Main Street Roswell, actually the Executive Director for Main Street Roswell, and today I brought with me Peggy Setsky, who is our Secretary, and also Kim Wood, who is our Treasurer. And today, I would like to present a presentation for you from Main Street Roswell. First of all, I don't know how much you guys know about Main Street Roswell. We've been around since 1996. So we've been around for quite a while. Main streets are throughout. As a matter of fact, I would like, do you have the brochures, one of you? I would like to pass out these brochures to each one of you. And on the back of your brochures, it's going to have a tiny little map that I can't see without my glasses either, but if you look at the tiny little map there, it will show you the different locations of main streets throughout the whole state of New Mexico. I personally work with many of the main streets in the corridor, which is a southeastern corridor of New Mexico, which would be Lovington, Carlsbad, Artesia, of course Roswell, Clovis, and Ruidoso and Alamogordo as well. So anyway, what you see on the board there is what our mission is to build upon Roswell's historical past by creating a sustainable, cooperative, and dynamic downtown district. We do have a Main Street district, which is a corridor that's been assigned to us. If you notice on my presentation, it shows the county courthouse because that's what we have chosen as our logo at this time. There's a picture of the courthouse behind there as well. The logo on the right is New Mexico Main Street, which that is our oversight. And by that, I don't mean that they govern us, but we get a lot of training for New Mexico Main Street, and then also Main Street America, who is the national oversight for Main Streets. We are an accredited Main Street. Not every Main Street throughout the state of New Mexico is accredited. We are. And so we're very proud of that. It's a lot of, there's a lot of work to be done. They do a very intensive review of our organization to make sure that we meet their standards to be an accredited association. I myself am completing my final training with New Mexico Main Street to become a certified executive director, Main Street director. So on the next slide, what I'd like to tell you about is our community partnerships. We do have a number of partnerships here in town, and one of them, of course, that just spoke, is the Chamber of Commerce. We work closely with Andrea, and she's always open and willing to help us, to allow us to use her building for meetings, to support and promote anything that we do. We also have the Chaves County Economic Development Corporation that's right across the street from my office currently, and they provide assistance to us when we need it. One of our big partners is the City of Roswell. They also provide funding to our organization, and then Keep Chaves County Beautiful is there with us for every single event that we do. So our goal is to really be community oriented and to partner up with other organizations that build economic vitality for our community and to help revitalize our community as well. And another community partner that I didn't put on there, Sheriff, which I should have, is the Chaves County, of course, Sheriff's Department. I have to tell you that Mike and his team are the most amazing team. We contact them with pretty much anything. They help to patrol our events when we have them. They keep safety available to us whenever we have parades. So we're very, very thankful to Mike and his team. So thank you, Mike. Next page, please. And first of all, we want to put out a really big thank you to you guys, to Chaves County. Since our inception here in Roswell in 1996, Chaves County has been a strong and steady partner to our organization. Chaves County Courthouse building and the lawn is a beautiful historical area within the Main Street corridor, and is a significant stakeholder. And when I say stakeholder, I said to you earlier that we do have a corridor. Currently, our corridor starts on 8th Street and ends on, Alameda. And we also, so it's all of Main Street, and then it encompasses a street to the west, which is Richardson, and to the west is Richardson, and to the east, it's Virginia and Railroad Avenue. And so as you can see, the Chaves County lawn is the site of all of our events organized by Main Street. There isn't an event that we put together that we do not use the Chaves County Courthouse. And the staff, I have to tell you, a big thank you to Annabelle and Lucia. Anytime I call anybody here at the courthouse of Chaves County, Bill, you guys are all awesome to work with. So this, like I said, the staff of Chaves County is always helpful, courteous, and generous of their time and their assets. So we, as Main Street Roswell, we would like to thank Chaves County for everything that you do for us, whether you consider our request for funding or not. We do thank you for that. And what I've listed up there is just some of the events that we have too at the top of the UFO Festival. We do have our annual Chili Cheese Festival, our holiday events, community planting, and farmers market. Some of the things that we do right on the Main Street, and a lot of it's around Chaves County Courthouse, is we purchase and put out flowers every year with the help of Keep Chaves County Beautiful. We purchased recycled flower pots right on Main Street as well. Every Christmas, we partner up with a young lady here in town that she searches her own sponsorships and gets probably, I'd say around, I don't even know, like, I don't know, 30,000, 40,000. It costs quite a bit to put all the lights right up and down Main Street. So if you enjoy those lights during Christmas, we keep them up just right after Thanksgiving and keep them up till about Valentine's Day, so around February. So yeah, you can go to the next one, please. Main Street Roswell, you know, we work under what's called a Main Street 4-point approach. And that's the reason that I gave you the brochure. If you look at the inside panel of it, it lists the 4 things that we live by. Basically, everything that we do must fall within one of these 4 points here. The 4 points are organization, design, promotion, and economic vitality. Basically, in organization, we do work with a lot of business recruitment and retention. So just as Andrea was talking about new businesses coming into town, part of my job and part of our job is to know what businesses are up and down Main Street. It is also our job to keep track of empty buildings and to promote people to want to move downtown. We really are focusing on trying to get more retail business there. We do get a lot of calls. I get calls generally 2 or 3 times a week from people wanting to move on Main Street. Right now our challenge is a lot of those buildings are not owned by people in Roswell. They're owned by people outside of Roswell, and they don't always have an interest in revitalizing our Main Street. They are just interested in having a building or just renting it to whomever or just keeping it empty for storage purposes. And so that's a challenge for us. As far as design goes, we have a team in Albuquerque through New Mexico Main Street that can come down and help us with design, with facade updates. We also have our own historical preservation specialist who can come down and look at buildings and make sure that we aren't you know, tearing something down that has historical value, that we are making improvements based on their recommendation as far as historical value. And they also do landscape and architecture and just urban design and planning. Under promotion, of course, it is marketing, but it also means more than marketing. It is communications, it's graphic design, it's image design, it's special events falls under promotion. We also have educational sessions for our stakeholders and the community at large. I have a training coming up on May the 31st, I believe it is, Wednesday, May the 31st. And that training is going to be specifically on social media and marketing and Facebook. And that is open to all of our stakeholders and the community at large. It will be held at the college. And the purpose of that training is to provide our stakeholders with tools to be able to market themselves and have more business. And the big one, which I consider it a big one, is economic vitality. You know, the vitality includes strengthening and improving our downtown economy. And improving the downtown economy, I believe, overall also increases the economic vitality of our community as a whole. Because when people come to Roswell and they shop here, or if they come to an event here, they have to stay in a hotel, they have to eat at restaurants, they buy gas here. And so we promote economic vitality for our community through our 4-point approach. Next one. And today I'm here to talk to you about building and forging a relationship with Chaves County. As far as we're concerned, we've had a relationship with you guys for a very, very long time. We just have not forged a relationship in terms of a financial support to this organization. At this point, I am the only employee for Main Street Roswell. I don't have an assistant. I do not have anyone but myself. I started August of 2022, so I'm not even a year old yet working for Main Street. One of the things that we're also charged to do is to complete strategies for a year. In other words, not only just 1 year to a year, but 5 years, 10 years down the road, strategic plans. And part of our transformation strategy for the most recent year or two. The first one is going to be called the completion of the Great Blocks the Great Blocks Project Market Walk. I don't know how many of you have heard about the Market Walk, but we applied, I believe it was August of last year, we applied through New Mexico Main Street and the Economic Development Department for a grant, and we received the biggest grant in New Mexico. We received $2.1 million towards a new area, a new park here in town. And as I say in my presentation, looks like I kind of messed up a little bit on that, but anyway, the project location had been selected like back in maybe 2019, 2020, long before I was hired. And so when I went out and looked at this location, and some of our new board members, and by the way, an apology for my president, Jeremy Anjanund, he couldn't be here. He's an attorney at Hinkle Law Firm, but I forgot to tell you that he sends his apologies. But when we went and looked at this location on 2nd Street and South Railroad, I'm not sure if you guys know where that's at, but if you go east on 2nd Street, before you hit the railroad on the right, there's a warehouse there, I guess going to be a distillery at one point. The goal had been to have a park in that area that would have a stage, it would have bathrooms, it would have grass, it would have a small play area, it would have a pavilion for kids to play, to have parties or maybe even beer gardens, also with a parking area further to the south. But after further review of that area, we really decided that it had a lot of challenges. There was really no place to cross to get there. Some of that area needed some remediation, which is not a problem because the land does belong to Xcel Energy, and they are working diligently to remediate that area. But overall, we didn't feel that it had the parking that we needed. It really didn't meet the needs, plus it was a little bit far from the Main Street corridor. So during that time, one of our board members spoke with Bill and spoke with people at Chaves County and talked about a possible other location. The other location that was discussed is an area that is just east of the county courthouse parking lot. There is an empty lot there, just east of that. And it was my understanding that you guys had this on your ICIP list as a desire to have a park in that location. And so we had a meeting, Bill, 2 weeks ago? I can't remember now, it's been a little bit. We had a meeting just recently, a Zoom meeting with all the parties that be, and by that being that this $2.1 million grant, the fiscal agent for that grant was to be the city of Roswell. And so we had a meeting with Bill, with Daniel Gutierrez, which is New Mexico Main Street, and also the EDD, and it was also the attorneys and the city managers from the city of Roswell, to discuss the possibility of this location being moved from its current location to be instead with the county and to be part of the county. Plans were made for that area. The area is to include bathrooms. It is to include fencing and include some things that were possible deal breakers for the county, which we are more than willing and excited to have those things available to us. And so again, this is what we're looking forward to, is a possible relationship with the county, and that relationship would include Main Street, Roswell, and Chaves County. And the city would be a collaborative partner as well to help us as much as they possibly could. So if and when you approve this and it rolls out, that's how it will be rolled out, as a cooperative effort between the city, the county, and Main Street, Roswell. The next thing on my list is an area of interest to maybe the county is the Chili Cheese Festival. The Chili Cheese Festival is our signature event that focuses on Chaves County's rich history of agriculture, farming, and dairy industries. And this year we we do this every year, but this year we plan to focus more heavily on the chili pecan industry, the cheese industry, along with the farmers market and the Hispanic influence of our foods. The festival will highlight this industry by including a dairy cow milking demonstration, tours of Leprino Foods, green chili stew contest, pecan pie contest, cowboy roping demonstrations, and display of farming equipment. Our entertainment will focus on fiddle playing and country music and mariachi music. And we are really, really open to the county's input on how you would like us to highlight the county overall. We are in the process of planning that event right now. Well, actually, as soon as we get done with the UFO Festival, the Alien Fest. But our next thing on our plan that we'd like to see is rural economic development. Since I've become the executive director, I've attended a lot of training sessions, and one of them had to do with rural economic development. And what we would like to see is within the next 2 years, we hope to encourage our neighbors in Dexter, New Mexico, to consider having a representative to join us in discussions. Discussions that I'm thinking about is, do they have an interest in becoming a Main Street? I mean, there are grants out there to help them to establish themselves, to help them do their articles of incorporation and their bylaws and their structure, and to decide what would be their corridor. Would it be, it doesn't need to be big because it is a rural area, so it could be a 3-block Main Street. It could be 4 blocks. It could be whatever you wanted it to be, if that was something that Dexter had an interest in doing. So they might want to become a Dexter Main Street. And when we are open to assist them in that process and to work together with them to get that done. We also would like to invite them to attend training sessions or Zoom meetings with us, with Main Street Roswell. We have a lot of training sessions, a lot of conferences, and to even come down from Dexter to attend some of our training in regards to social media, presentations on how to revitalize your Main Street. We want to be able for them to join us on how to market your business and how to access funding through a rural Main Street grant allocation. And so we are open to that, to help the county with anything they'd like us to help on that. Let's see. On behalf of Main Street Roswell, we are requesting consideration for an allocation of funding from Chaves County. We would request a consideration of up to $40,000 yearly allocation for budget 23-24. The goal of Main Street, our goal at Main Street is not only to be known as a hub of great events and things for people to do here and aliens, but we also, more importantly, we want to encompass and act as lead to the Main Street 4 approach, as far as economic vitality, organization, design, and promotion. We want to act as lead on that. In this endeavor, we are refocusing and moving our direction to more of a business model. And by that, I'm not saying that we have not been a business model, but we really need to become a valuable asset, to really be a valuable asset, to seek funding from other sources, to build more partnerships and sources of funding through grants and donations. In order to continue this forward movement for our organization, the funding we're requesting would allow the organization to provide more educational sessions to the community, to include Roswell and Chaves County, and to seek a part-time or full-time employee to assist with promoting the mission, through grant writing, fundraising, promotion to the Main Street corridor. That in turn will not only benefit Roswell, but it'll benefit Chaves County as a whole. And with that, I open it up to questions from you.
Thank you, Barbara. Anyone have any questions, comments?
No?
Mr. Chairman, I do. On the $2.1 million that you received, what is happening with that?
Mr. Chairman, Madam Commissioner, what happened is the City of Roswell is the fiscal agent. They've agreed that they would rather we took over that role, and so they are going to do a resolution. I think they're going to try to get it this month, to no longer accept the agreement that they accepted last year to be their fiscal agent. And then from the county, they would like us to give them a memo stating that, in the event that they give that up, that we would be willing to be the fiscal agent. We did discuss that with the Finance Committee because there is a monetary commitment. We do need to match the funds on that. but we've had on our ICIP, it's never risen to a very high ranking over the years. I think 22 may be the highest ranking we had because we had things we felt were more important at the time. But with them coming forward with the money to actually build the cultural plaza is what we called it, and the main brunt of that was to build a downtown bathroom to assist with all the events that we have at the City of Roswell. Also, probably a little raised stage area, some barricades like you see on the freeway in Albuquerque to kind of minimize some of the train sounds, but as we all know, when the train goes by, you're going to quit doing what you're doing and wait. But a lot of the events that are held on the courthouse lawn then could be shifted to that, or the farmers market, rather than closing down 4th Street, they could have it in that area. So we do want to have public bathrooms. They would not be open all day, every day, because we don't want to encourage an element to be camping there or utilizing the bathrooms for nefarious activities. And so it would be opened just during Main Street events and festivals and those sorts of things. And the county would have the added expense of maintaining the facility and stocking the bathrooms and janitorial in those instances when we did that. But we would utilize it just like we do the courthouse lawn. But we're willing to partner with them, let them bring the money forward to actually develop that area to benefit our whole community. The city's really excited about it because we're in the position to do it. They're bringing the money forward. We all, of course, want Roswell to benefit and thrive. So this is a great project for us all.
And, Mr. Chairman, with the 2.1 million, though, you said we would have to put some money in, too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is a matching contribution. I believe it's 20%.
Okay.
But that can also be in kind, so the property that we own, a portion of that would come off immediately for that. The design, those different things we would have to accept. And Annabelle and I were discussing this yesterday. This doesn't actually hit the budget until such time, just like the LGRF funding or anything else. Once we get the actual agreement and the contract, that's when we make the adjustments to cover our portion of it.
Okay.
Yes, Madam Chairman. I did have a discussion this week, with the city manager, and he was going to be working with the city attorney to craft the resolution, because the resolution would include Main Street Roswell, because bottom line, the city couldn't do it without Main Street, and Main Street could not do it without them. So it's a joint effort, and we, as the board of Main Street, or my board of Main Street, they already voted that they didn't want the other location, that they wanted to move it to the county location. And so now it needs to become a resolution that would then open it up for community discussion if there needed to be any. And of course, it was one of those things for me. I wasn't sure what letter went first, the county or the cities, but I think the city letter will come out first, or the resolution. Your memo or your letter would come out soon after, I guess, or at the same time in tandem. Mr. Mike McLeod with Excel Energy would be informed that we would not be utilizing his area. And then Daniel Gutierrez with New Mexico Main Street and EDD would be providing the contracts and agreements for moving this over. Their goal really is not to see this be just gone. I mean, it's a big grant. We don't want it just gone. It just was one of those things that this location was not conducive to what we wanted to do, and we were unsure how the decision was made. And we tried to look for other locations, and the fact that this come up as a possible option was fantastic for us. So,
good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Bill.
And you all received one of our bags, as you can see. We highlight Chavez County as much as we can all the time. So I didn't get to bring one of my colorful T-shirts, but we have some, our polos, I should say, that we give out as well. So thank you, guys. Or we sell.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and County Commissioners. My name is Mark Steen. I'm with the Chavez County 4-H and FFA Fair. This is Cindy Wooten. She's our Secretary Treasurer. I took over the role from Larry Hobson as president of our county fair. First off, we'd like to thank y'all for your support in the past, for all that y'all have done to help us out. But it's greatly appreciated, and we do a lot to help the kids of Chaves County. And we're asking again for your support. Again, I believe that y'all have gotten our proposal. And I'm not a very good public speaker, I'm sorry. But yes, we'd like to ask again for amount that was given last year to us. That keeps us right at our budget. And I guess that's really about all I really have. Cindy?
I just want to thank you guys for everything y'all done. It's a really, really, really old-fashioned county fair. We don't ask for the fees for the kids to enter the fair is very minimal, like $1 for every entry fee for the rabbits and chickens, and it's $5 for the lambs, $5 for pigs, steers are $10, dairy heifers. So it's very minimal, but it's this really cool week. It's July, the end of the year. I mean, the end of July, and it just goes for a week. And they just come out there, they play, they have fun, but they showcase everything they've done for the whole year. The steer project, they start in October with these animals, and they go all the way to July. And then the other animals, they have to have them
by June 1st.
June 1st, and then they have to get up in the morning and feed them and train them and show them, and then this just highlights their year. It ends up with a junior livestock sale, which is not part of our deal. We just have the facility. I mean, we're lucky enough to have the Eastern Fairgrounds to have it at. But the sale is the end of the year. I mean, of the event, but it's not part of us. But it's like the highlight of it. I don't know exactly how I'm saying. We do all of the awards. We get all the judges. We get all of this. We provide
water, ice, refreshments, keep the kids, keep them hydrated through the week. And,
yeah, and all the different businesses actually feed the kids and their families every night. Yeah. The farm store, Farmers Country Market, Farm Bureau,
High Pro.
High Pro, one of the county 4-H clubs. So every night, so it's kind of like an old-fashioned fun thing for the kids to do.
It's a good time. I mean, the kids can be out there. We don't have a carnival or anything like that, so the kids can hang out. You know, parents don't have to worry about them running off. We keep track of everything. We have security on the grounds to keep everything calm, and it's just a really good time for the kids to kind of get together and not only just junior livestock, but we have several inside exhibits, baking, leathercraft, sewing, braiding, you name it. These kids, welding, we give out prizes for that. And it's amazing how many kids turn out there. And I just truly believe that in my heart that 4-H and FFA is one of the best programs that a kid could get into these days. And or get into any program as far as that goes. Keep them out off the street and out of trouble. But it's nice being. But I think 4-H and FFA is a very important role. Teaches leadership and responsibility, and I know several of you come out, but it's very good program for the kids, and we sure appreciate, once again, we appreciate all y'all's support, and ask for your continued support. And we'll take any questions.
Anyone have any questions?
All I got to say is thank you for all your hard work. I think it's an excellent program you have going.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Y'all do an outstanding job, and appreciate all your hard work and your passion for what you're doing. And Cindy, you do speak well. You said you couldn't
She
talk
does.
publicly,
She
so
does.
thank you for doing
And,
that.
and we are a nonprofit organization, and we have no paid employees. We are 100% volunteer out there. And it's not just us two, it's several,
There's 19 directors.
19 directors.
And they're all volunteer. And when you get out there, you just can't believe all the people that just show up, give their vacation time, everything. So it's cool. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
so
guys.
much.
Thank you.
Go ahead and come on up.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Rick. I am the CEO for the Boys and Girls Club. At the Boys and Girls Club, our mission is to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens of good character. Me here today, I am talking to you about one of 3 specific things we consistently work towards. The first one we work towards is safety. We always want to make sure that these kids are consistently safe every time that they walk into our buildings with our staff members. The second one is programs. We want to create programs that help them to expand their thought process to go above and beyond that box that everybody keeps trying to fit each other in. And the last one is mentoring. This is the one I come to you today about for contract for services. We have 2 programs that we are working on putting together that BGCA promotes, that goes through BGCA, and we are bringing it into your Boys and Girls Club. The first one is Smart Girls. Smart Girls is a small group health, fitness, prevention education, and self-esteem enhancement program to design to meet the developmental needs of girls ages 8 to 18. Through dynamic sessions, participatory activities, field trips, and mentoring opportunities with adult women, club girls explore their own and social attitudes and values as they build skills for eating right, for staying physically fit, for getting good health care and development positive relationships with peers and others. We want to start teaching our young ladies how to be the best adults that they possibly can. But on the other side of that, we want to teach our young men how to be good men as well. And the way we do that is with a program called Passport to Manhood. Passport to Manhood encourages boys ages 8 to 18 in discussions and activities to reinforce character, leadership, and positive behavior. Each participant receives a passport. This underscores the notion that he is on a personal journey of maturity and growth. Each of the program's 14 sessions uses interactive activities to focus on specific aspects of character and manhood. It also includes service project where boys learn the importance of giving back to the community. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Rick. Does anyone have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, Rick, I know you're from Roswell, and you left us, and you came back. I appreciate you coming back and bringing your family and investing in Chaves County and Roswell. We appreciate it. Yeah. And also, the Boys and Girls Club, you have been with them now, how long? I don't remember.
So I started as the Chief Operations Officer May 2nd of last year. So I basically started in the summer school, or the summer program is when I came in. The summer program for the Boys and Girls Club in Chaves had 23 people in, or 23 kids in it at that time. This year we already have 27 kids signed up. So we are starting to slowly grow. Also the school year in the 21-22 school year, they started off with 12 kids. We started off the 22-23 school year with 40 kids. So we are growing, and we are becoming more and more effective.
And they pay a minimal fee for the programs and stuff?
Correct.
Plus they have scholarships?
There are scholarships. I will be working this summer to get more scholarships for kids so that we can have more kids coming at a much more reduced price. Right now, we had 21 kids this past year that came from both Pecos and Nancy Lopez schools that instead of paying the full fee, only had to pay $10 to come to the programs every month.
Okay. And the money that you're asking for stays with the Chaves County
Yes.
Boys and Girls Club?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay, good. Thank you very much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Those programs, I think, are worthwhile programs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
what are the hours that the Boys and Girls Club is open, and how many children are you serving on a daily basis at the Roswell Club? I'm not Ruidoso.
No. This
just
is
Roswell.
specifically Chavez County that I'm speaking about. During the school year, we are open. We pick the kids up after school from 8 different schools around the city, and we bring them back to the club, and they start showing up about 3 o'clock. And then we are there until about 6 o'clock. And these kids are from the elementary schools at this point in time. We do have plans to grow into middle school and high school as we continue going. During out of school time, which would be any time where there is no schooling or summer programs, we are open from 7:30 in the morning until 5:30 p.m. During school programs, we offer a snack in the afternoon, and during all-day programs, we offer a lunch, and then we also offer a snack as well. We serve, sorry, I forgot this part. We have served so far this year over 80 kids. We average anywhere from 30 to 40 kids a day. A lot of that is competing with different programs that are going on, but also we very much encourage that the kids do tutoring if they have issues with tutoring. We do have an after-school program called Power Hour to help with that stuff, but we can't always guarantee that we're going to give them all the right information that they need. And so because of that, we also help them to get into tutoring at their schools so that they can be more productive that way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick.
Have a good day.
Anyone else? Annabelle?
Okay, and that concludes the presentations and discussions from other departments on their budget as well as agencies. I would like to, again, thank everyone for their help, the Finance Committee for their time and their work on this budget year. As you know, next week we will have the resolution before you for approval. It is currently, right now, working on submitting the resolution with the current summaries you have. As I mentioned before, I did email you the workbook that has the entire budget as well as justification sheets from the department. At any time, please feel free to look at that. If you have any issues with the workbook itself, please let me know. If you would like to come in or go over on the phone to try to look at some of those a little bit better, I am free. And once approved next week on the resolution will be submitted to DFA for their blessing as well. And as you know, this is the interim budget, and what this allows for is for us to continue operating in July. So we have a budget approved in July, and in July we'll have the actual ending cash balances. So once we have the actuals, we close out the fiscal year, then the final budget will be presented to you in the July commission meeting for approval as well. With that, I don't know if you have any questions, or if there's anything you want to look over.
Thank you, Annabelle.
Okay,
See you.
thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Okay, I guess we'll move on to unscheduled communications. Does anyone have anything they want to say this morning? For now, forever hold your peace, I guess. Anyway, we'll move on to county manager's communications.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I want to remind y'all that we've been cordially invited to celebrate the commissioning of New Mexico's newest solar energy center, which is the expansion to the solar farm that's out on Sunset. That will take place Friday, June 2nd. The program begins at 10. They ask you arrive by 9:45 a.m. if you're going to be there. If you guys check your calendars and let me know if that will work for you, and I'll be sure that they know that you will be there so they can point you out or whatever they do.
What day is it?
It's Friday, June the 2nd.
At 10 a.m., did you say?
Yeah, it says arrive by 9:45, but 10
And
a.m. is when the...
Where is the location?
It's going to be on Horizon Road, so if you, Red Bridge to Wrangler to Xenia, or to Xenia to Wrangler, and then Horizon Road. So it's...
We said it's off Sunset.
No, it's off of Red Bridge.
Red Bridge, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Red Bridge.
Yeah, so once you cross the first bridge, turn to the right, and, go down Xenia to Wrangler, back north.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yes.
That's one of those roads, you know
Yes.
where it is, but you don't think
I-
about
yeah,
until you,
I know.
until you go and say, oh, yeah, that's right. So,
I know where you're talking about now.
Oh.
Yes, yes, I remember that
quickly,
project.
I want to thank Dina and Rosemary from Border Soil and Water Conservation District. Really appreciate the steps you've taken to eliminate African ruin and these other species of concern that aren't good for our cattle and horses to eat. So thank you very much for that. We appreciate you coming all the way up here again to talk with us. What you do is very valuable. Thank you. I'm sorry that Mark and Cindy left, but 4-H and FFA Fair, of course, I think we all feel the same way as far as investments in our community. That's probably one of the best that we can do. And of course, they work hand in hand with the Cooperative Extension Service, so the 4-H kids all get their opportunity to do things and show what they've learned throughout the year at the fair. All departments have done a really good job this year on budget. Really appreciate the thought that goes into it. Really appreciate the consideration of the overall budget, not just coming forward with a bunch of stuff that is frivolous. Everyone does a really good job with that. Finance, of course, they need to all just breathe a sigh of relief. Just take a few minutes, and I say a few minutes because you need to get busy closing the books for the year. So thank you for all you do, and we appreciate the commission and your leadership that you show, especially at the time of budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Commissioner Perry, you have any?
Just a quick thank you to all the division leaders of the county that performed very beautifully today and gave us a very fleshed out process that was easy to read and nice to follow. Thank you, Ms. Annabelle. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Taylor.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to thank all the department heads and their staffs for the work they put into the budget process. It's a difficult process, and I think our departments manage their departments very well financially. And again, I want to thank Annabelle and her staff. It's a big project to put together this budget, and I think they've put together a good balanced budget at this time. I thank all the all the county staff, department heads, and all the people involved.
Thank you, Commissioner Dana.
Mr. Chairman, I think we have someone online that wanted to make her public statement because she wasn't here. It's not coming up? No. Uh-oh. Miss Rita is listening online. She said she made her public comments online.
Okay.
So it's not coming up. Oh, okay, she's made a few comments. Okay. Well, I too want to thank you. Thank you, ladies, for all your hard work. I know it's a lot of work, and want to thank everyone that was here today to make their presentations. It's nice to have, like I said, some of the partnerships that we have and the investments that we're making, and very blessed to see if we can continue this. We are, because our department chairs kind of go over and watch their budgets so we can bless others in this community. But thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate this. This is always an enlightening workshop for all of us. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Ezell, still there? Or are you on mute?
Did we lose him?
Maybe we lost him.
We might have lost him.
We'll find you later. I want to personally thank everyone for their comments today and taking time to come and present to the commission your needs and what you do. It really helps me as a commissioner to understand your positions and what you do. And when I first came on the commission, there was just a few people would come talk, and now we seem to have quite a few. And I'm really glad that those different agencies and boards and departments come and speak to us. So it does help me as a commissioner. And Annabelle and Lucia, thank you so much for your hard work. And Dick and Calder, I know the time y'all spend a lot of time sitting with these different departments and going over these budgets, and it's a kind of thankless job for everybody, but it's something that has to be done. And Chaves County is a leader in the state, and we set a pretty high standard, a gold standard, I believe, for how counties should operate, and I thank each and every one that makes that happen. So, Calder, are you back where you can make a comment, or are you still at large?
No, didn't. I can't tell
Okay.
if he's on there or not.
Okay, we're going to move on.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go into closed session pursuant to Section 10-15-1H2 NMSA 1978.
And limited to personnel matters only.
Yes, limited
Okay.
to personal matters, and no actions will be taken.
Yep.
Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been motion by Commissioner Dana and second by Commissioner Perry to move into closed session. We have a
In
quorum.
there?
Okay, go ahead, and we got to take
Commissioner Perry?
a roll call.
Oh, sorry.
Commissioner
He's
Perry?
ready to go.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Dana?
Yes.
Commissioner Ezell? Scott?
Yeah.
No.
Commissioner Bilberry?
Yes.
We'll
Okay.
get him back on the phone.
Be back.
Yeah. I guess so.